Guys, let's start with this fantastic piece from Janet Albrechtson in today's Australian, where she details how prominent advisory firm Ownership Matters advised its clients to kick Katie Page, the highly regarded chief executive, off the board of Harvey Norman and elect leftist activist Stephen Mayne, a man with no retail knowledge, no serious board experience, no known management skills. The report continues. The absurdity of these voting recommendations by Ownership Matters is best explained by posing one simple question to the firm's big institutional clients. Would they agree to replacing their most respected and experienced board member, male or female, with Mayne, a noisy activist and local councillor with no corporate runs on the board? Mayne has tried 49 times to get elected to the boards of Australia's largest companies and failed 49 times. It is an incredible read, Daisy. I would encourage everyone to get the Australian and read that piece because it's an important piece. How do you see that? How do you see this effort to remove a accomplished woman off the board and replace her with a bloke in the name of diversity?
Well, look, Rita, as all the cool kids on the internet are saying nowadays, this is symptomatic of clown world, so they say. I mean, this sort of action is what the modern feminists have been fighting, or feminists generally have been fighting against for decades. You know, the replacement of highly qualified, superior women, ditching them off corporate boards in favour of the left's common enemy, which is, and I quote, mediocre white men. It seems to me very, very bizarre, and this is really something that is absolutely for the sake of optics, but not in the usual way. Usually they're pushing women forward for the sake of optics at the expense of men, but for some reason this is flipped. And what it shows, Rita, is just how powerful this noisy activist woke movement actually is, because most people don't buy into it. Most people are normal, apolitical people who just want to kind of get through the day. But this activist movement, you see them on Twitter, you see them in the mainstream media, you know, you see them at the high-end levels of the corporate world, are so noisy and so pushy and so emphatic in the way that they do things that they create a larger presence than they actually have. So for some reason, people seem to think it is a good idea to kick one of the most experienced women, most likely in Australia, most experienced corporate people in Australia, off for someone who has failed 49 times to get elected to a corporate board. I mean, you couldn't write this kind of stuff, Rita.
Yes, and he's got 23 shares, apparently, according to this article, so he's obviously a big investor. But Gerry Harvey, he has warned board members if they take this advice from Ownership Matters, they should forfeit their right to sit on any board in this country. If they did do that, they are not fit and proper person to be on that board. It's as simple as that, he said. So he's come out very strongly, and thankfully, in this instance, this activism isn't going to get anywhere because of the shareholding that Gerry Harvey has. But this is becoming really prevalent in the corporate world, where you've got these activists bullying corporations to adopt these diversity drives and become political beings when they're supposed to be in business. They're supposed to be caring about their shareholders and their staff and their stakeholders.
Yeah. And look, if I was a betting man, as Gerry Harvey is, I'd definitely be betting on him to put his foot down as he has, and for them to go along with his views. I mean, the really interesting thing about this, of course, is that I think Stephen Mayne's position, his platform has been and is about more gender diversity on boards, so that he is involved effectively in outing a woman to replace her with a man, being himself. The irony is extraordinary, really.
That's it. I mean, if that's what you believe, then you would stand down. You'd go, I'm not going to run for any board if it means that a woman's going to lose her seat. If you believe in gender quotas and if your identity politics is your thing, then you've got to live it. You can't preach it and then don't actually implement it in your own life. Especially
as an experienced board member as this woman is. I mean, she's about as bad as.
She's credited with turning around the company and actually really being critical to its success.
Yeah, absolutely.